Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to another recording / Hearthstone live stream. Let's see, we've got a tavern brawl to do, we've got a quest we need to trade out, and let's see, what else do we need to do? Let's play 10 cards that cost 8 or more. Interesting. Play 50 warrior class cards, play 10 combo cards. This might prove itself to be a little bit odd, and you know, the audio sounds a little low too. What happened there? Like, I could have it all the way up here and it would still be cool. Let's just go about halfway here and hopefully that doesn't screw up anything and people aren't hearing things differently than me. Alright, let's do the tavern brawl first. We've got... I managed through a lot of struggle to fill up my whiteboard today. Not an incredible amount of struggle, I suppose, but let's see. What was our quest today? The specific combo cards, warrior cards. Let's play warrior since I have a terrible collection of warrior cards in the first place. The Steam summer sale is going on. For me, I guess I could just talk about that right at the beginning. I went through it last night. I'm gonna go through it for the rest of the time to get more badges and do quests to get sticker patches, and actually I'm not sure I'm gonna get any more trading cards. In all honesty, come to think of it, I may very well only be allowed to get more sticker packs instead of trading cards, which means I've already gotten up to level 7 of the infinitely growing levels you can get as far as badges, which you get badges by collecting a full set of trading cards. It's a whole insane system that I spent nearly $20 on just to collect all the trading cards from all the games that give trading cards to get badges to increase my level. Increasing your level in some tiny way increases the chance of you getting booster packs, which you could sell or open for more trading cards. It's this self-feeding system that really doesn't help you that much, but I've made it to level 51. I have somebody that's friended me on Steam that's at 241, and I just don't feel like there's actually a benefit there. I imagine what it comes down to is that if there is any small percentage of people on Steam that are making money through selling trading cards, it's probably heavily Dota people with Dota skins, and the other trading card elements I would bet there's only less than 1,000 people that have actually made profit there, because the system is so incredibly skewed in such a way that it simply just doesn't happen. Like you lose money every time. Typically you need between 6 and I've seen some games, bigger games, as high as 12 trading cards to make a badge. Regular games you can only make 3 levels of badges. If you make a badge and you like the previous version of the badge, there's literally no way to there's no way to bring that character, that previous badge back. But for the most part that's not really an issue, because the badges are typically, there's a bronze version and a silver version and a gold version. There are foil versions of all of the trading cards too, which are way more expensive and way rarer, so you could get up to a level 3 badge on the regular trading cards, so 3 times collect potentially 12 trading cards, each of which sell between, sometimes they're as low as 3 cents, or I've never seen one below that, and sometimes they're as high as, well, as much as you can get. I've seen them as high as 50 cents each on one. In fact, I saw that one of the ones I had is worth 50 cents, and I'm like, well, I've got 2 cards and I could try to make a badge with this, but instead I think I'll just sell it and see if people will actually pay me and make some profit there. But if I make $1 in profit on a couple of cards, I've actually still lost at least $20 in this sale alone making badges. The only reason it makes any sense to do this is they've tied the number of friends you can have on Steam to it. You have to level up to have more friends. Is that really a realistic issue for most people? Not really. Like at 50 I have, I think, 500 friends. 5 people have ever friended me on Steam. It's just not a system that people really use. So you have to be realistic in that part too. Let's go ahead and kill this. So the real reason I'm doing it is just because I'm stupid. Obviously, I'm suckered into it. Like, there's no reason for anybody to get into trading cards. The right move to do, clearly, for people is if you get a trading card, is sell it on the market, get a few coins, get enough 50 cents, enough 10 cents till you can buy something for 51 cents, which seems to be the minimum you can get something sold on Steam. So this will be interesting. Yeah, that didn't work. Figured. Yeah. You usually, for free, when you buy a game, you get about 3 trading cards. You sell 3 trading cards for, let's say, 10 cents, you get 30 cents. So for every 3 games that you purchase, that you potentially could buy a really, really cheap, probably not that good quality 99-cent game during the summer sale. Which there certainly are 99-cent games, there are 51-cent games. That is the 2 elements, the 2 sides that I see are worth looking at in this summer sale, as much as let's see, do they have a 5? I'll take poisonous. There are several things that are on sale. If you haven't gotten them yet, everybody's journey down PC gaming and Steam collecting, and their piles of shame of games they've never actually played and they're never actually going to play. So there are some things for sale. The newer the game, the less the discount. I'm seeing a lot of things not on sale at all. I'm seeing a lot of things that are 10% off, 20% off when they're really new. There are a few things that they're pushing for Honor. Generally speaking, what the Steam highlights are doing, since they've stopped doing daily deals, the things they highlight are almost certainly what the lowest price is going to be during the sale. They're not going to play with the numbers any, so you can sort of do your shopping before you even buy the first day, which isn't a terrible idea. Let's see, this. Just play it to get it out of the, as one more warrior card to play. Ideally, you would want a wish list. Like the summer sale is kind of the the only sale that really matters. Like, I think you should save up probably for that, and then depending on whether you want to play games as they come out, you're gonna get screwed there no matter what. We have Walter on the chat saying hello. Hello, Walter. So, a big part of my shopping for the summer sale is directly looking at my it's directly looking at what my wish list says and games that I've wanted. A lot of the games I bought were specifically things that I've wanted for a while. For instance, I got Abduction. That's a relatively new game, but it's from the creators of Myst, so I want to play that, and I want to play it a little bit earlier. I got Full Throttle Remastered. I believe I got that, but because I wanted to support them bringing out more of those Scum games remastered, even though it really wasn't at a major discount. I mostly looked at things that were 80% or higher in my wish list and considered them, particularly if they were just small things that I'd like to try out, but they're not the AAA games. Most of the AAA games are either not on sale at all in the summer sale, or they aren't on my list. There was a few things that required me to do a half-step method. Some of the bundles, for instance, like the Bethesda bundle, the Bethesda bundle for me was just too much. It was $50 to get the Metro games, the Wolfenstein game that I don't have, several things that I do plan on eventually getting, but also in the bundle was several other games that I'm not really planning on getting. The Metro games in particular, I don't think I'm gonna get around to playing any of the Metro games before the release of Metro Exodus, so that was a tough decision I had to make. When just like, I've got too many other shooters already on my list of games to play, that buying a new shooter from a new series I have no knowledge of just to cover Metro Exodus is just not something I can find the time for. So I found that if you buy just the one thing, that is 90% off in a lot of the bundles, because the bundles are kind of deceptive in the sense that they make it seem like you're saving the most by buying it in bundles, but actually, because most bundles by default adapt, you can buy something that's 90% off right now and then come back later and get the bundle, and the bundle will have adapted, and it allows you to actually save a little bit more over the long run. But this is a long run where you're probably going to have to wait till the fall sale until you could really get that discount on that bundle again. And if you're okay with that, that's fine. If you're not, I get it. Let's see. I guess I have to take out all the rest of these guys. Steam is doing a third thing with sticker books, where you get sticker packs for completing actions, things that they want you to do, checking your preferences, following a Steam curator, seeing your friends' activity. There's a considerable amount of things on the Steam website and the Steam client that people don't do. They've also changed their website a little bit now, The side navigation on the left for the Steam client is gone. It is now directly about just showing games. And so if you want to search categories, you're either going to look at the top bar, or you're going to look at the or you're going to go through the top menus to try and find specific categories. I feel like the Discovery update isn't really the reason for this, but it seems to me that the recommendations on Steam have significantly increased ever since since Rockstar and Take-Two started irritating all of their customers. That's what I pinpoint it to. It's possible that I'm wrong about that. It's possible they did just install a new version of the recommendation system. But I really went from getting recommended some very, very general things that I saw everybody else was saying, to now, when I go through a discovery queue to get sticker packs or anything like that, it really seems like they know what they're doing. Let's see. Whenever this minion takes damage, deal 3 damage to your hero. What does this one do? If this minion attacks, also attack. So at the end of the day, like, I have this new TV that seems to be working fine. Maybe when I started using it today, because I'm not using it for the other, when I'm recording other things. I spent all yesterday dealing with the Steam sale, so I wasn't actually recording anything, which is not the best move in the world. I can see the chat, I can respond quicker, hopefully. I can see that I'm streaming. I can't really see all of the time and everything though. So I'm still using a lot of timers on my phone, and I can put the chat on my phone. There's still some problems with, like, they haven't updated the OBS remote software for the OBS Studio, and I'm gonna be stuck on that point until either somebody makes a different version of the software to do the exact same thing, or it just gets fixed. And so I'm not incredibly happy with the setup, but the TV is doing what it was designed to do. Plus, it's a nice backup monitor. It replaces a monitor that's dying for my server if worst comes to worst, or if I just bought a different smaller monitor TV. Looking and thinking about potential like 4K replacement for my main monitor seems like it's probably the exact wrong time for that. I think a higher refresh rate and HDR technology integration needs to become standard before I replace it. So I'd like to put that off for a couple years if I can. The new monitor I got actually does run at a slightly higher refresh rate of up to 75 Hertz, whereas my main monitor goes at barely 60 Hertz. But none of that really matters because 60 Hertz equates to 60 frames per second. We're still very much stuck at just struggling to maintain or get 60 frames per second in game, and I'd rather increase the quality and maintain 60 frames per second than try to increase the frames per second and then turn around and lose quality. Let's see.
Job done.
I don't think I'm gonna win here. So yeah, with having spent over $100, slightly over $100 on a new monitor, I considered that part of the budget. So typically I try to look at slightly below $300. It seems like less and less each summer sale, which is a lot, certainly. I mean, although compared to the price of the Xbox One X or the PS4 Pro, it's kind of cheap. It's still a lot compared to anything else. Maybe I couldn't buy a entirely top-of-the-line graphics card for $300. I don't think I could get a 1080 Ti quite for that. That is also part of the budget that I'd like to see there. There's also the eventual desire, and I said it last year and I'll probably say it next year, there's the eventual desire to stop buying old games on Steam, to just kind of already have all of those, or make that less of a priority and less of a focus, and instead buy new games as they are made new. But we're still not quite to that, plus my scheduling issues still don't really allow for that. Like, with live streaming, things have slightly changed, and live streaming is kind of new to YouTube. So I suppose I could live stream coverage of new games and just not talk to the chat while I'm doing that at all, and just completely ignore it, unlike how I try to engage with the chat here. I'm not sure how many people would really like that, but that's how it would have to go. It also inherently means that if live streams would come up, they would go down, they would come up, they would go down. I'd take a break for an hour or two, then they'd come back up, and so anybody actually trying to watch the stream and see all of it is not going to really be able to catch it, because I'm just at the core of it not a live streamer. I'm not physically capable of sitting for 8 hours in a live stream. I'm not physically capable of talking for that long. I'm not mentally capable of doing those things either, because I'd be exhausted, and I want to take breaks, and I want to try to do better at things. We did have a person that was very eager to friend me and put several comments asking how to friend me, even though the link is, the information's down in the bottom of the description of every single one of my videos. People simply don't see it. They don't click that arrow and look down. So I didn't point that out to him. I just said, here's the information, friend me. And so I wanted to see if he was on. Now that we can do daily quests through friend requests, there's really no reason for me to not try to take as much advantage of that as possible. So yeah, I don't know if I said it, but yeah, I spent about $150, 20 of which was towards getting badges and trading cards, which it's kind of a weird system there, because you have to make at least 2 transactions on your credit card because you need to buy the large amount of games because the maximum amount you can really put on your card by the default options is $25 as far as your Steam wallet, and then what you do is you so you buy I bought the $120 worth of games, which is kind of just like a booster shot to my collection. It's gotten my collection now up to 760 odd games. We probably, between the fall sale and the next summer sale, will go over 1,000 games. I've always said I felt like there was about 10,000 games on Steam and maybe 3,000 of them are worth owning. We may find out that that number is even high. Of course, like, one of the aspects I wanted to go down, and I just wanted to dip my toe in it, I guess, was at the end of the day is what I decided to do. I got the very earliest Nancy Drew game that was on Steam. There's a whole bunch of them. There is a bundle that gives you about half of the Nancy Drew games. That feels like a good series that I could put in my kids' time slot. I already have some Disney games to put in the kids' time slot. I've got some other things to put in the kids' time slot. There's a great argument to potentially get rid of the kids' time slot, but it is something I try to focus on. I kind of go both ways on that too. I look at the kids' time slot at the beginning at the 2 p.m. Central Time, and then I also look at the potential 8 o'clock time slot where things that are adults only could be placed if I want to spend the energy to make to do the censoring, which I usually don't have the time or desire to do. But there was, I think, one game that I got in there that was kind of a more fancy version of Honey Pop, and so maybe we'll do a temporary time slot around Valentine's Day like we did this year. Didn't heavily see any games that are Chinese based, and that was the same problem we had before with let's play this. Taunt, Enrage. I'll take this. Let's see. Let's go ahead and attack the face here.
Job done.
So yeah, didn't really make anything. There is a Chinese New Year sale, and then there is May the 4th be with you sales. As for May the 4th be with you, though, that's Star Wars games, with the exception of buying Battlefront 1 and 2. I don't think there are any Star Wars games on Steam that I don't own. So that has stopped being a sale that really matters to me, as much as it's just an example of something I've already accomplished. Alright. Draw a card for each damaged one. Darn it. Let's see. I have also realized that I need to be more careful on the emoticons I put on my channel, because I've managed to use the skull and crossbones for both Borderlands and Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, which is a series that people haven't that I haven't really announced is gonna be a rage quit series, so it's only gonna go for a short time anyways. That game was really bad, unplayably bad. And some third game that I don't even remember what it is right now.
This isn't moon grade.
There we go. So, yeah, in my releases right now, 3 out of the 5 things that are getting released have the exact same emoticon, which defeats the purpose of it standing out and being an interesting design. See, acid maw, whenever another minion takes damage, destroy it. So we have to kill this first, and then kill this. Let's see. This, that, and that. Let's start going down the news here. We're going with the longer, slightly different lengths of recordings. Sega announces Sega Forever, which is for mobile games. It's classic Sega games that are free with ads. I think it's $2 to get rid of the ads. I heard, I'm not sure, that it's $2 per game to get rid of ads, which is quite a lot. It is also worth pointing out that Sega already has all of these games, or most of these games, on Steam, so it's not likely that they're going to re-release it. Well, it's possible they re-release it, actually, but there's already a way to get all of these Sega games that are not particularly of super interest of me covering. People who have nostalgia for Sega games will want to play them again. There's a few that are historically interesting, and the vast majority of them don't even get re-released. The same is also true for Nintendo Entertainment System games. Like, while the Mario games, while the big ones that people remember are re-released over and over again, nobody's really re-releasing the bootlegs, the bad ones, the ones nobody remembers, the ones that came out in incredibly small runs. Let's just go for the victory here. It'd be nice to win and be done with the Tavern Brawls. Sega's at least trying, though. Like, clearly Sega has adopted a new attitude. I don't know if that's somebody in a position of power has changed their attitude, or somebody new has become in a position of power, but Sega is working with Platinum Games to publish things on PC. In general, it seems like Japan is now focusing more and more on PC, that they have gotten out of the mentality of going with PlayStation only and PlayStation Vita games as much, and they're not really even adapting to the Switch as much as I bet Nintendo would like, because PC is now starting to is now very much starting to feel like a major contender. City Skylines PS4 edition is coming out on August 15th. Not really anything to say there other than I guess they figured out a way to get it to work on TV, because the PC version certainly didn't work on my TV. I could not read that text at all. One of the things I realized here, though, is I'm sadly not in the conversation as much as I would like to be. I can follow as many games journalists, as many articles and online things. I follow a few Facebook groups on my personal Facebook to see what those people, video game fans, are saying. It's not really a lot. There's just a ton of memes and a ton of like comment bait, like bait, like this if you like Sega, thumbs down this if you like Nintendo. Just trying to specifically just social engineer people into getting those comments shown by Facebook's algorithm even more. Let's see.
Give that minion a turn to get ready.
Well, what do I want to do? I guess I have to kill this. But as for actual content and actual people who are hyped about games and interested in games, normal people, I don't really have conversations with them. Since this is my job, since I'm making this my job, I don't go to a job, a water cooler, and have those water cooler conversations. Since I don't go to a school, like a college, I'm not in with that crowd either. And frankly, there's not really that many groups and meetups groups that exist for video game fans as much as several, like, say, Lego fan groups or anime fan groups. Those destroy an enemy minion with 2 or less. Right. Deal 2 damage if it survives. Draw a card. Play this. So I would like to be more in the conversation, and really that comes down to fans commenting, asking about games, talking about what they're interested in, so I can at least hear what the general people are talking about versus the games journalists, because it is very noticeable that sometimes games journalists are very, very hyped about small indie games that they know the people that worked on it, and those small indie games don't like even make a blip in the real world. So it's kind of it's nice. It's a breath of fresh air to cover small unknown gems, but in the end, if everybody's just playing Call of Duty, then I would like to get a little bit more of that message. And certainly I know a lot of people are just playing Call of Duty. A weird thing happened. Also, I was announced through the YouTube Studio app that I, for the first time, got 100 likes. And I'm like, thinking to myself, what do you mean for the first time I've got 100 likes? I have like over 150,000 views last time I checked. I might have a lot more than that, come to think of it. I have over 150 subscribers. I get likes all the time. Like, there's no way I just now hit 100 likes. And apparently, my best video really only has 150 thumbs up likes, and it has 100 thumbs down, and apparently nothing else has even got that. And there's a strange correlation there, because I have about 150 subscribers and about 150 people thumbs up that video. So, like, for the exact same number of people that liked my video or also subscribed to my channel, and that really doesn't connect at all to my best video, because that video has over 75,000 views. Like, it makes up probably half of all the views I've ever gotten. And it's a how-to video, so it's not even really what I do. Which is really just, at the core of it, a sad statement of how you can't really break into YouTube. Like, I was listening to Total Biscuit say it, and I kind of have to repeat it. It's like, if you want to make it big in YouTube, you have to go back in time when there was less competition and when the algorithm actually would work with you and allow you to get friends. My only personal hope is that maybe if I just keep working at it, if I just keep things going, that eventually I'll get over some kind of hump. But on the other hand, YouTube actually has added a few barriers. Like, new YouTubers can't even monetize until they have, I think, 1,000 views or something, some big number, like, which makes it even harder to even begin. Like, it is very possible that if you wanted to be a new YouTuber, you might have to make videos very consistently and very good quality videos and spend a lot of effort and time on it for a year before you can even make any money at all. And for my example, I guess it's even more than that. It's been 2 years, and I've made one paycheck of $100 and still waiting for that next minimum of $100 to happen. And in the meantime, ad revenue seems to have slightly dropped, if not majorly dropped. This is proving to be a difficult tavern brawl. Netflix, moving on in the news. Netflix has announced it's going kind of into the games industry because they have these choose your own adventure shows for kids that they're going to make, which will work on most versions of their app, I'm sure. Now, I don't think Netflix can do much more than choose your own adventure style games. Deal 3 damage to all damaged minions. Well, that won't do anything.
What now?
Let's do this and this. The director of the God of War game has said that they were very opposed to having camera cuts. So I don't know what that really means. Like, in theory, I guess that means that there will be no point in which the God of War in that game goes to the bathroom. Although, knowing that game, he may very well just go to the bathroom and the camera doesn't cut away. There may be pans, or it may just be third person over the shoulder. It really reeks of pretentiousness, honestly. Just to be completely honest here. There are movies that come out from time to time that say this is all done to look like a one-shot, or this was all done in one shot, there's no camera cuts. It's basically the directors that do that don't know how to direct and don't know how to use camera cuts, because when done properly they are expected, they are normal, and there's nothing wrong with them. So to try and sell a game and say that it's better because it has no camera cuts is kind of silly. This, and this. Attack here.
Job's done.
Let's see. Did I turn down the audio? Yeah, it still should be down on my phone. Hitman, now that it's part of IO Interactive, I guess they're moving as fast as they should. They have now ported it to Macintoshes. The prologue mission is now free. Some people, well, the Beastcast specifically, got that wrong, and they were thinking that it was Paris that was the new mission that was free, and I'm like, nope, you're totally wrong there. That's not what they're giving away. They're giving the prologue mission, which is a mission on a boat that's a training facility, so it's a fake boat with fake people. There might be a real world mission after that that's also in the prologue, where it's a real boat with real people, but it's not an entire city. And then they removed De Novo, which I'm not sure if that really has as much to do with them being independent now, or if it just has to do with De Novo. It's too expensive and it gets cracked, and it may have been cracked already for Hitman, although I didn't hear that. I get this feeling rather heavily that De Novo is very good at convincing CEOs and people who don't know that much about video games that their software should be in games. And it convinces CEOs that we will stop piracy. And they don't really stop piracy, obviously. Maybe they have a nice pitch. Maybe they're not that expensive for the length of time. That on average it runs. Maybe they just have a better deal that they can set up. I don't really know, but yeah, De Novo's gone, and so a lot of people claim De Novo slows down some games, and it kind of seems like implemented wrongly. That is true, but it also seems like some games, when it gets removed, don't have this incredible increase of their thing. I just realized it seems like my Hearthstone deck tracker overlay is not working. I was hoping with the moving over to this system, OBS Studio versus the old OBS, that I wouldn't have to deal with that every single time, but seems like it's still the case. Let's see. So let's see this. There we go. So that fixed that.
Do that.
Alright. 1, 2, 3. Attack, play, and we'll take this and then return. Square Enix has blamed a problem with the Stormblood connection issue for Final Fantasy XIV on a DDoS attack. Like, I'm not sure how much you can really blame your connection issues on a DDoS attack. On one hand, yes, they're kind of impossible to fight. On the other hand, it kind of is your job to fight them. So it goes back and forth there. Let's see. So I guess all I can really do is take them at their face value there and say, okay, fine. You're being DDoS attacked and you're failing to mitigate that. So that's still kind of on Square Enix. In a weird way, we may be seeing the beginning shutters of a dying Square Enix. This is purely speculation on my part, but if they were looking to sell IO Interactive to get money, if they're pouring money into making the next Final Fantasy game, if they're having trouble having the next Final Fantasy game developed out of house, so they bring it in house. There's just a lot of things around Square Enix that have happened lately that doesn't look good for them. The other element certainly is that they're putting out a Kingdom Hearts 3, and so that might be yet another necessary attempt to make money. So yeah, who knows? We may see this time in 2 or 3 years that Square Enix is just like, we can't do it anymore. I don't think that would really happen. As long as they've got Final Fantasy, they can probably shutter a lot of offices. They could probably just continue to shrink and say, we're just making Final Fantasy, we're just selling Final Fantasy. That's probably going to convince, keep them in business. There really isn't a replacement for Final Fantasy in Japan. Like, Monster Hunter is about the closest thing, and it's slightly different, but it might be close enough that they don't care. Let's see. Deal 4 damage. If you have at least 12 health, deal 6 instead. Here we go. This will be our last game for this recording. The developer of A Way Out and A Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons has come out and said the PS4 is like a 5-year-old PC. To be fair, it did come out in 2013, so it kind of is a 4-year-old PC. And let's be honest, while the PS4 was sort of powerful, it's not the most. It wasn't a top-of-the-line $3,000 PC of the time in 2013. It was economical, and all consoles are like that. Clearly, the Way Out developer is trying to make that seem like it's more than it actually is, because he's very partnered with the Xbox and Microsoft. The Xbox One original 2 is kind of like a 5-year-old PC, and even the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X still probably don't approach the level of power you get if you bought a realistic gaming PC for $1,000. Because if you were to buy a gaming PC right now for $1,000, it would cost $1,000, whereas PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X are costing around $500, $400. So you can see that they're not getting a 50% discount on components. That's just not going to happen. I didn't talk about the updates to Hearthstone, but there's some interesting updates to Hearthstone too. Well, we got the Tavern Brawl done. We didn't particularly make the most amount of progress otherwise. We have one that we're gonna have to build a deck for, I think. I can do combo cards with the deck I already have. I can do warrior class cards with the weapons deck, but I don't think I have any deck in my collection that has cards that cost 8 or more. That idea hasn't even been something that I've ever even thought about. So we'll just have to build something. Anyways, if you're watching live, stay tuned. Otherwise, if you're watching recorded, as always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.